April 14, 2025, 8:12 a.m. Dunkin' on Maple Street by the DMV. I ordered a medium coffee and a bacon. Egg. Cheese. The receipt said $6. 78. The sky looked like a faded t-shirt. A mom wiped jelly off a toddler's face with a napkin and her sleeve. It smelled like burnt sugar and fryer oil. Home. If home means muscle memory. I hadn't been back in 10 years. I told myself it was for business. It was also for a ghost with a blue collar? My name's Hannah. I'm 29. My dad is Michael. My mom is Karen. My brother is Jason, the golden child. My dog was Blue. I ate in the car. Nose to nose with a dented Civic. A man returned his coffee because they used sugar instead of Splenda. He wasn't mad, just tired. I know that feeling. You don't explode. You make a note. The first injustice was small. It always is. 17. Junior year. After my Kroger shift, I kept tips and bagged cash in an envelope under my mattress. That day I counted $1. 200 even. Shots for Blue. Food. A real vet check. Maybe a better crate, so he wouldn't chew the desk corner. I lifted the mattress that night. The envelope was flat. Mom, I held the empty envelope in the kitchen like a dead leaf. She was stirring mustard into Walmart potato salad. The TV weather guy smiled under a green storm map. She didn't turn. Your brother's card got declined. She said, books for next semester. Those aren't books. I said, he already graduated. She dropped the spoon. Don't talk back. You've got enough. Hannah, you feed a dog like it's a person? We're a family. Dad walked in from the garage. Grease on his knuckles. Shop towel in one hand. Beer in the other. He didn't ask. He took the envelope, thumbed it, slid it into his back pocket. You live here, he said. Voice flat. What's in this house is this house. Blue sat by the fridge, tongue out, head tilted like he understood. His collar was bright blue, like the crayon in a kid's box. He'd nosed the potato salad earlier. A smear of mustard streaked the strap. I wiped it with my sleeve. My hand shook. My voice didn't. Okay. I said, I hear you. That's how you survive some houses. You collect sentences. You file them away. You don't scream, because they'll make your scream the story. You go quiet. You take stock. Cuts piled up. Jason's 18th, he got a stainless steel watch, Dad said. Cost $450. Give or take. I got a $50 shell card and a warning not to drive too much. His graduation, a rented tent. Costco cake with his name in blue frosting. Coolers of Bud Light. Mine lukewarm sheet pizza, and we're busy this week. He got a used Civic to get you to that job downtown. I kept riding the bus with cracked vinyl seats that tattoo lines on your thighs in July. Daily American details stack like receipts in a glove box. Kroger time cards. The bleach smell at the diner, where I picked up late shifts. Mom whispering useless thing when I asked for a signature on a scholarship form. Dad setting his beer on the same coffee table ring. Leaving a permanent circle. Jason's I'll pay you back. Venmo's weird. And it never came. It's not one blow. It's the steady push. When Grandma got sick, the house went quiet in a new way. No shouting. Just calculation. Mom kept a spiral notebook by the landline names. Dates. Who visited? Who didn't? Dad wore his good work boots to the hospital, like respect lived in leather. He called her Ma and didn't look at me. A week before March 2. We were alone. She wanted crushed ice. Her nails had ridges like old seashells. You listening. she whispered. Yes, ma'am. Don't let them change the paper. I didn't know what she meant. A week later, Alavier called. There was a will. There were conditions. Words like co-owner and consent floated in the afternoon dust. Dad closed the kitchen door. Mom ran the faucet. Jason went outside to call somebody, laughing like a guy who found a 20 in his coat. The night Blue died. It rained. Not pretty rain. The kind that makes the garage smell like mildew and rubber. I came home to the sound of metal and something that wasn't metal. Blue whimpered like dogs do when they dream. He wasn't sleeping. A shovel. Bare concrete. No yelling. Dad stood over him. He looked at me the way you read store hours. If you don't behave, you'll be like that dog. Mom didn't cry. She looked at me. Not him. What a useless thing. A little laugh. Like I'd told the same bad joke again. They locked me in my room. The click still wakes me. I stared at college brochures and a calendar with a golden retriever and glasses. Tape curls at the corners. My phone was on the desk. I pressed record. I said the date. I said what I heard. I described shovel. Rain. Smell. It was habit by then to document life like a cashier logging coupons. I didn't cry until I saw the caller. Later, after the lights went out one by one, I eased the window screen, slithered to the roof, dropped to the grass. The collar hung on a nail in the garage, like a trophy, blue against gray. The smear on the strap had dried. Mustard. Stupid. Ordinary. It broke me. I pressed the plastic buckle to my chest and cried without sound. 2 nights later, I left. Backpack. $80 in tips. W 2 inches. The front pouch. The collar looped through a belt loop on my jeans. I told no one. I caught the 510A. M. Greyhound from the station behind the IHOP. The one with the flicker light. The heater didn't work. The bathroom door didn't latch. We rolled past cornfields and billboards. A lawyer number. A mattress sale. A church sign God sees. I stared out and made a promise I didn't say I'll come back when I'm ready. Not when you call. 10 years is long enough for a secret to grow teeth. I learned to listen more than talk. I learned county websites. I learned the courthouse smell copy paper and old carpet. Clerks have good days and bad, like everyone. I learned not to flinch at raised voices. I saved every email. Not answering a text is also an answer. I built life the boring way. 2 jobs. Night classes. A studio with a hissing radiator. A snake plant that survived 4 years. Friends who didn't demand proof of worth. I walked dogs for cash and tried not to pick favorites. But I always noticed blue collars. I kept Blue's collar in a shoebox with my social security card and old receipts. On moving days, that box rode in my lap. Then, last month, my phone pinged. I track addresses the way some people track ex's Zillow. Redfin. County records. Hobby. Insure. Also silent preparation. The Maple House showed a home equity line, opened 8 months ago. Grainy PDF. Doc #41827. 2 signatures. Not mine. I didn't flare. I filed. I sent a certified letter to the bank. A question. Not an accusation. I taped the USPS tracking inside the shoebox lid, next to the collar. I booked a week at motel. 6 off the highway, $59. 99 plus tax. Room key, with a scratch down the middle. I rented a gray Nissan. I told my boss I needed time for family matters. Not a lie. I mapped the clerk's office, the lawyer's building, where the outlets are near the lobby chairs. I opened notes and made a list titled Maple. Bullets. Checkboxes. It made my breathing even. So, this morning, Dunkin' coffee in the cup holder. I drove past the high school. Same brick. Same softball fence bent in one corner. Past Kroger, where I used to clock out and count tips by the time clock. Onto our street. The house looked smaller. That happens when you leave. The lilac bush Grandma loved was brown sticks. A crooked for rent sign leaned by the mailbox. Phone number in vinyl. The porch bowl buzzed at 830A. M, like a trapped fly. I parked across. Met my own eyes in the rear view. I looked like someone who slept and ate. Not a hero. Not a victim. A person with a plan. Mrs. Lopez Samerobe. Same slippers shuffled out for the paper. She saw me. Held up 2 fingers. A little peace sign. Her mouth made an O. She pressed her hand to her chest. I lifted my chin. Not yet. I thought, we'll talk when I'm done. I opened the shoebox on the passenger seat. The collar sat on top, smooth from years of touch. I clicked it around my wrist like a bracelet. Plastic buckle. Tiny snap. I don't wear jewelry. This felt right. Checklist clerk. Laver. Bank. Last. The doorbell camera I bought on sale at Lowe's. Because proof is cheap if you plan. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. We heard you're in town. Don't start something you can't finish. 3 dots. Another text, we're still your family. I set the phone face down. Took a sip. The coffee was already losing heat. Maple Street was quiet, except for a lawn crew 2 doors down. A blower whining. A man sipping from a gas station cup. I turned the key and let the engine settle. There's a kind of revenge that doesn't shout. It documents. It timestamps. It asks the right clerk on the right day. It doesn't need an audience. It needs a file number. I pulled into traffic. Checked my mirrors. Merged. I don't knock anymore. I file. April 14. 2025. 931 A.M. County Clerk's Office. 2nd floor toner. Lemon cleaner. Shoes on wax tile. A TV on mute looped a PSA about dog licenses. I pulled a red ticket from the dispenser A. 109. The Keurig hissed hazelnut into the air. My Dunkin' was already lukewarm. Small wound. Fresh day. The man 2 windows down didn't look up. Sweetheart, he said, tapping keys like they'd stolen from him. If you wanted rights, you should have stayed local. He slid my ID back with his fingertip. Like heat was contagious. I noted his nameplate, Brent. I didn't correct him. I wrote his name in Maple Notes app. Then I breathed. A. 109. The speaker crackled. Window 4. Carla. Cardigan. The color of mint gum. A pen with a sunflower taped to it. I slid the packet Grandma's will. The clause that says co-owner. The line that repeats consent. She read without dramatics. The good clerks never perform. You have your affidavit, she asked. Stamped this morning. UPS store notary. Square and black. We'll record a lis pendens, she said. Puts a cloud on the title. No one can claim they didn't know. Her click sounded like a metronome. Fees $38. 50. Card. I tapped. The terminal beeped. She stapled the receipt to my copy and slid it back. Document number posts by 3. She said. Search by parcel or name. Thank you. I said. Paper has a voice. She said. Soft. Like church. Next. 1012A. M. Adler Co. Over the bakery that sells oatmeal cookies bigger than my palm. The receptionist's nails had tiny daisies. The office smelled like copier, warm-up, and sugar. Mr. Adler wore a tie with coffee cups on it and had a basset hound photo on the shelf. He read the will, then the home equity documents, then my affidavit. The line of credit is frail, he said. Your missing signature is a missing leg. Table still stands until you lean. Lean, I said. We'll follow the list pendants with a lender notice, he said, and a letter to any prospective tenants. Clouded title means proceed at your own risk. He drafted while I watched heavy letterhead, the kind that thuds when it lands. To whom it may concern, missing co-owner consent, reliance, is unreasonable. He looked up. We send certified. You save every scrap. I keep a box, I said. He slid me a yellow pad. Log every call. Date. Time. Who said what? Exact words. I titled the page Maple Calls and made my first entry 1026A. M. Eller. Lean. And so. 1140A. M. The bank on Oak. Lobby. Lollipops. No kid wants. A kid's table with crayons jammed into a styrofoam cup. I asked for the manager. Teresa arrived navy blazer. Soft shoes. Practical smile. I'm here about Doc Hash 41827. I said, I'm a named co-owner. My consent isn't on it. I spread the will. The list pendants receipt. Adler's letter. Paper fanned like a quiet weather system. She read. She frowned. Not at me. She called Rita in compliance. On speaker. Hold music. Ran 6 piano notes into the ground. Teresa muted a second. It's unusual, she said. Not rare. Rita came on. I spelled my name. I used the will's vocabulary co-owner. Consent. Executed without. I gave the loan date. I gave my absence. I gave their problem. Rita exhaled. We'll place a temporary suspension pending review, she said. 48 hours. Appreciated. I said. Thank the documents. She said. Click. Teresa printed an internal note. Is my name on it? Loan number partially redacted. Keep this. She said. If anyone calls you, log it. I slid the page into the shoebox in my passenger seat. Blue's collar touched it. Plastic on paper. Like a blessing. 115p. M. Lowe's. I grabbed a doorbell camera off the clearance shelf last year's model. Open box. Sticker as is. Batteries anyway. Zip theias. Painter's tape. At the subway, by the exit, a dad wiped yellow mustard from a toddler's cheek. The collar at my wrist warmed. The world has a way of repeating itself until you answer 203p. M. Maple Street Stakeout. C on low. Karen was mid-church smile for a young couple. She pointed at the porch. Did the palm-up realtor swoop? The guy wore a Planet Fitness tee. The woman sipped from a Target water bottle with peeling stickers a moon. A cow. A cat in skates. I filmed through a barely cracked window. Not for the internet. Memory needs proofs too. Karen's phone rang. She turned away. I rolled my window another inch. No. We can't wait, she said. Money's tight since. She glanced at the couple. Pitched her voice down. Since the mess. A beat. Michael's handling. Everything. The old tone slid in. Hannah. She doesn't. She kept her face still. She's not here. I let a smile happen. I texted Adler Mom, showing He answered notices going out. 3:08 p.m. County site updated 2025 to 003312. I screenshotted. Then printed at the library for 10 cents. The librarian stamped 3:12 p.m. in purple because the printer likes attention. I filed both digital, paper, 2 mirrors, 3:40 p.m. Porch steps, old wood, wasp paper tucked in the eaves. The porch light buzzing at daylight like it forgot its job. The door was, of course, unlocked. I mounted the camera with painter's tape for now. The app chimed connected. I named it Blue Front. Motion alerts. Every time. I stood there and studied the paint. The scratches clustered around the lock like a constellation. I let my palm hover over the wood. I didn't touch. The house doesn't get that from me. 4:22 p.m. My phone vibrated. Motion detected Blue Front. I watched from the car. Michael stepped into frame. Jacket I know by heart cuff, stained with a color most people don't recognize until you point. He tried the handle. Slipped inside without knocking. Got it, Jason, off camera. Yeah. Michael said. Let's get the papers before she. His voice dropped. Before anybody notices. Clear. The way posted hours are clear. I saved the clip 3 ways. Phone, cloud, USB behind my library card. I sent it to Adler with the subject, got it. He replied, evidence prefers silence. 6:05 p.m. I parked at the bank again. Symmetry is a calm drug and dialed the number on the crooked for rent sign. Vinyl bubbles under the digits. Karen answered on the second ring. Voice Kendall warm. Hi, I said. I saw the listing. It's a lovely property. She rushed. 2 bedrooms. Close to schools. New appliances. Hi. Mom. Silence. Then the empty clink of my name in her mouth. Hannah, you're being dramatic. No. I said. I'm being exact. You've always been ungrateful. She said. We did what we had to do. Family is consent. I said. And mine wasn't given. I don't know what you think you have. She said. It won't last. Sun hit the office windows and shattered into the lot. I have a file number. I said. And a doorbell. She ended the call. I logged it on the yellow pad. 6:07 p.m. Karen ungrateful. Exact words. Exact minute. 7:30 p.m. Motel 6. The A divided by C rattled. Then steadied. I laid the day on the bedwill. Liz Pendon's receipt. Banknote. Adler letters. 2025 tot 003312 screenshot. The clip frozen on Michael's face. I ate dinner from a gas station bag trail mix. A freckled banana. Diet Coke that hissed like it knew my secrets. The TV filled the room with other people's games and canned laughter. Today's small cuts local from Brent. Unusual from Teresa. Ungrateful from Karen. I don't keep them warm. I let them cool into bricks and build with them. Before sleep, I opened the shoebox. Blue's collar was on top. Plastic smooth from years of thumb passes. The buckle clicked when I squeezed it. I timed my breath with the hum of the unit. Steady in. Steady out. No shaking. Counting. Another motion alert. I didn't look. I know the choreography of that porch. The ghost light. The drag on the hinge. The way night leans across the boards. Proof doesn't need witnesses. It needs timestamps. This wasn't the storm. This was the pressure falling. Tomorrow, I walk into the branch with the clip on a USB and the document number printed twice. One for each of us. Tomorrow, I copy the tenants on the letter and let the cloud sit heavy over the house until even vultures pass. Sharp. Silent revenge isn't fireworks. It's a freeze order, posted at 904A. M. It's a clerk initialing the margin. It's the sound of a scanner bar crawling across paper. I set my phone face down. The room darkened. I don't beg. I freeze. April 15. 2025. 804A. M. A bank lot on Oak, the one with the cracked flagstone by the handicapped spot, and a single tulip, trying in bad soil. Lobby lights were on. Sign still said, closed. I chewed a protein bar that tasted like wet cardboard. Watched a sparrow hop between bumpers. And checked gas across the street $3. 49. A delivery guy shouldered a box of copy paper through the doors. Everyday America. Awake. Small wound to start a security guard wrapped 2 knuckles on my window. We don't allow camping, he said. And flat. Eyes on the shoebox in my passenger seat. I have a meeting, I said, lowering the glass 2 inches. He tapped his badge Mac. Doors at 9. There's a Starbucks. Thanks. Mac, I said. I'll be right here. Blue's collar caught a stripe of sun and went still. 901A. M. Teresa waved me in. Flats today. Not heels. Compliance reviewed your clip overnight, she said. Closing her office door. I looped legal. I set 3 things on her desk in a neat line. The USB, the printout 2000 and 25-003312, and a copy of Grandma's will with the highlighted co-owner clause. Paper. Plastic. Ink. She hit speaker. Rita. Here. Rita said, calm as yesterday. We're executing a hard freeze on the line. No draws. No auto debits. Effective 904. A. M. A certified letter goes out today. Will require either a signed consent addendum from both co-owners or a court order. Until then, the account is ice. My phone buzzed, temporary suspension active. I like words that do work. Understood? I said, keep logs. Rita added, begging. Then threats. Then nostalgia. It's the usual ladder. Click. Teresa slid me an internal note with my name on it. If anyone here gets contacted, it routes to legal only. On my way out, Mac held the door a second longer than necessary. Good luck, he murmured. Luck is for raffles, I said. I brought paper. 1016A. M. Maple Street curb. Mrs. Lopez crossed with a church fundraiser cup of coffee and 2 sugar packets folded into quarters. Windbreaker with a tiny dove embroidered on the chest. She opened my passenger door, like she's always had that right. You set your jaw like your grandma, she said. Settling in, I can smell a freeze from my porch. I need your eyes on a line, I said, sliding the affidavit across. Date you heard, Blue? What you heard. What you saw. She put on reading glasses held together with floral tape. I read every word, then uncapped a blue pen with her teeth. Signed, printed, April 15. 2025. The nib squeaked like a door that never got oil. Bring me a copy, she said, and eat something green today. I'll try, I said. I always mean it when I say it to her. 1103A. M. The animal shelter on Ridge. Not the police paper first. Ms. Pruitt. The director. Read my forwarded vet email from 10 years ago. The subject lines nesting like Russian dolls, and my own affidavit from that night. She didn't reach for dramatics. People who see worse don't. Statute's tricky on the past, she said. But the video of them entering and removing papers from a house you co-own, that's now. We'll file for trespass and tampering and attach our notes. Patterns matter. She slid a card across. We run a fund for cruelty prosecutions. If charges form, we back the county attorney with legwork. I've been alone before. I said. We prefer when you're not. She said. Bring copies. By noon, my left hand had become a stapler. 1, 2, 2, 2, P. M. Lunch in the car. Wendy's baked potato. Side salad. Butter formed a little river on foil. Radio ad for a mattress store. Then a lawyer who sues other lawyers. America hums in practical keys. 1, 2, 3, 3, P. M. Text from Jason Banks being fussy. Stop making mom upset. We'll fix it. I typed. Deleted. Typed. Deleted. Sent all communication in writing. Save your words. Logged it 1, 2, 3, 4 P. M. Fussy. 105 P. M. A locksmith named Gus met me at the porch raiders cap. Sunburned neck. Hands you trust around hinges. You got paper says you can do this, he asked. Not unkind. I showed the will. The list pendens. The doorbell clipped Michael's voice. Let's get the papers before Gus didn't need the sentence to finish. 2 cylinders. He said. New keys. I'll bag the old guts with a note. His drill hummed clean. The old locks sighed out like bad teeth. He tagged the new ring, Maple Hannah, in neat block caps. You want a deadbolt? 2, he asked. I want a boundary. I said. That's what a deadbolt is. He said. Driving 4 screws home, with the steady pride of a man who knows endings. Small wound while he worked. Karen's Camry rolled to the curb with Jason riding shotgun. They didn't clock Gus's van until he stood. Jason hopped out with a swagger he'd been practicing since 8th grade. Open up, he called. We have rights. Hi. Jason. I said, stepping into frame. Hi. Mom. Karen's church smile blinked on. Then off. You're taking this too far, she said. Low. We did what we had to do. Michael says. Gus wiped his hands. Afternoon, he said. Working for Ms. Hannah. You can't change the locks. Jason snapped. As a co-owner, I said. Even. I can secure the property. No trespass notice is posted. If you want access, email my attorney to schedule. Jason Bark laughed. A lawyer for family. Family is consent. I said. One last time. Mine wasn't given. Karen finally noticed the camera. Her face learned it was being seen. She hissed. You're humiliating us. I'm documenting. I said. Humiliation's a side effect. Jason stepped close. Jaw, working on a word he didn't say. You think a camera scares me? No. I said. Honesty should. Gus turned the last screw. Done. He said. He held out a small zip bag with brass and dust inside. For your records. Karen tugged Jason's sleeve. We'll see you in court, she said. It sounded like a dare and a prayer at once. I'll save you a seat, I said. They left. Clear tape held a crack on the Camry's tail light time. Showing through. 240 M. Library. I printed "No Trespass" by order of co-owner in big block font. Laminated for $1. Taped it behind the glass with painter's tape at 4 corners. I set blue front to email Adler every time the door opened. My lawyer deserves to jump at the same ghosts. 310 M. Clerk's office again. Carla slid a recorded copy of the list pendants under the glass purple stamp. Document number. That faint, solvent smell. Green cards in a week? She said. Don't lose them. I don't lose paper. I said. She looked at the shoebox. I know. 402 M. Bank. Teresa had me sit under a ficus that wasn't trying very hard. Certified letters went out. She said, handing me an envelope copy. Also note on your parents' profile, no employee contact except through legal. At the kids' table, a boy tried to color with 2 crayons at once. It made mud. He liked it anyway. 437 M. Unknown call. I let it ring out. Michael's voicemail landed. Voice measured like store hours. You're making trouble. You won't understand. Houses are for men to manage. Dogs are dogs. I saved it. Mikhail houses, divided by men. Logged. Did not reply. 520 M. Staples. File folders in glacier blue because I have a sense of humor. Labels bank. Court. And shelter. Tenants. Audio. I sorted in the car with the A divided by C on, and the 6 o'clock weather talking about a cold front. A woman in the next space said into her Bluetooth, he can pay child support but not answer a text. The country is a choir of single sentences that could be whole plays. 603 M. Motezeks. Dinner was a lean cuisine. Microwaved 2 fast edges boiling. Middle still ice. I laid the day on the bed. Freeze email. Recorded number. Mrs. Lopez's affidavit. Ms. Tapeda. Pruitt's card. Gus's invoice. Teresa's internal note. The laminated "No Trespass." The list pendants copy with the purple bleed. I read Michael's transcript again. Houses are for men to manage. I didn't argue with a recording. Recordings never change their lines. Blue front person detected. Karen stood on the porch. Fingers on the sign. She read. Shoulders squared. She left it up. Choosing not to tear a thing down is also a sentence. Inbox pinged twice. Adler's tenant letter batch went out. Blind copying me. Property in dispute. Do not rely. Deposits at your own risk. 2 quick replies. Planet Fitness shirt guy. Thanks looking elsewhere. Sticker bottle woman. We're out. I didn't cheer. I don't celebrate a lease dying. I celebrate a lie going hungry. I sent Mrs. Lopez a PDF of her affidavit and a thank you. Sent Gus a photo of the sign with his deadbolt glinting. He replied with a single wrench emoji. It meant more than paragraphs. 811 M. USPS tracker updated accepted at post office for the certified letters, a gray sentence. But if you've ever waited on a green card to come home with 2 signatures and a date, you know it sings. TV off. Room. Quiet, the kind you win. Not the kind you're given. I brushed my teeth at the small sink. Set the shoebox on the chair by the window. Clicked Blue's collar on let it rest on top. Tomorrow is filing's temporary injunction to bar unauthorized entry. Tenant notices logged with the county. Freeze confirmation printed twice, 1 for me. 1 for anyone who says they didn't see. I'm bringing donuts to the clerk's office. Sugar is the oil of small machines. Today, 1 line shut. 1 door locked. 1 sign faced the street. The sequence is simple. Freeze first. Then knock. I don't threaten. I serve. April 16, 2025, 7, 5, 8, a.m. County Courthouse. Ground floor. Past the metal detector that smells like pocket change and winter coats. A deputy wanded my boot beep at the zipper. The hallway cart sold burnt coffee for $1. I bought 1 and 2 powdered donuts that dusted my black jeans like chalk. Ordinary morning. Paperwork weather. Small wound to start, missus. Fielding from church pearls too tight cornered me by the bulletin board. Karen says you're confused. She whispered. Like a diagnosis. She says you're stealing her home. Good morning, I said. I'm filing a temporary injunction. Her mouth made a small O. A candle just blown out. I kept walking. 812 A.M. Civil window. Clerk in a sweatshirt. Coffee is my love language. Namatak, Reina. I slid a stack motion. Affidavit. Exhibits. Blue front stills. Bank freezy mail. Recorded. Lis pendens. Mrs. Lopez's statement. I'd tabbed everything in blue. Private jokes are free. Reina flipped. Stamped. Slid the fee calculator. You want ex parte today? Yes. I said. Safety for the property. She nodded. Judge Dillard takes these at 9. Stamp. Stamp. If signed. Sheriff posts. Make 3 copies. Judges like options. 903 A.M. Division C. The bailiff called my name like a service ticket. Dillard had a tiny cactus on his bench with a fake neon bloom. He read without commentary the best kind of reading. You have the bank's freeze, he asked. Yes. I slid Teresa's internal note, and the email, temporary suspension active. He studied Michael's porch still. Then the line, let's get the papers before she... He didn't need the rest. Entry without consent. Title, dispute. He said. His pen clicked. Temporary restraining order granted no entry. No removal. No leasing effective upon posting. Hearing May 1. 900 A.M. Serve all parties. The bailiff stamped signed in red. Heavy ink. Reina slid me 3 copies with the same rhythm as her calculator. Sheriff Civil is in the basement. She said. Follow the yellow tape. 932 A.M. Sheriff Civil. Deputy Alvarez stapled my packet to a bright cover that said Service of Process and popped a peppermint in his cheek. We'll post today. He said. We'll try personal service on Michael and Karen. Any habits? Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Church. Saturdays, 9 a.m. Mayer groceries. I said. Michael buys the off-brand cereal in a bag. Alvarez grinned. I like working with people who take notes. I slid 2 Krispy Kremes across. Sugar keeps small gears moving. Preach, he said. 1040 A.M. I watched from Starbucks across the street. The app pinged blue front motion. Alvarez's hand. Then the white sheet with the county seal. Tape in 4 neat squares. He took a photo. The camera took its own 2 proofs. Same truth. Family group text where I'm still a gray bubble lit up. Karen, what is this on the door? Jason illegal. I'll rip it off. Michael, do nothing. 2 words. Finally useful. I forwarded the screenshot to Adler. He sent back a PDF order posted violation notice. Slide it under the door. He wrote, firm. Not loud. 1115 A.M. Insurance office on Main. Fluorescents. Pens with logos. Poster of a couple under a maple tree that looked like clip art. Agent Kathy read the will's co-owner line. Then my packet. They didn't disclose a co-owner while trying to lease, she said, tapping her keyboard like a chess clock. Underwriting will issue cancellation pending or change terms. Bank gets the memo. In writing, I said. In writing? She said, tearing a letter off a perforation I wanted to rip myself. I didn't. 1150A. M. Code enforcement. Counterman Andre listened, while I described the porch sag and the unpermitted rental listing. We aren't a cudgel, he said. Practiced. I don't need one, I said, sliding the order and my affidavit. If they rent, tenants get hurt. He studied the photo, the step dip you only see when a camera stares all day. He sighed. We'll do. A courtesy inspection. Door hanger. If they don't call, we cite. That's enough, I said. 103P. M. Mayer. Ink for the motel printer and celery, because Mrs. Lopez said something green. In frozen foods, I saw Michael compare pizzas. Lips moving. Math out loud. He didn't see me. His phone rang. Yes. I saw it. He said. No. Don't touch it. It's court. He put back the brand box, picked the cheaper bag with a cartoon tomato. I walked by like he was any man choosing dinner. My heart did nothing. That felt like a document filed. 222P. M. Motel desk. I drafted demand for accounting rents. Deposits. Dates. Amounts. 10 days to respond. Adler added teeth. Failure is conversion with civil penalties. He loves commas where it hurts. 310P. M. Next door ping beware rental on Maple owner says it's in court do not pay. Not me. A neighbor. The internet isn't always fire. Sometimes it's a bucket. 344P. M. Blue front. Again. Karen read the order. Fingers hovering, like she might peel. She didn't. She took a photo and left. Restraint is still evidence. 405P. M. Voicemail from sheriff order posted. No contact yet. We'll try Mayor Saturday. The serial note was for something 440P. M. While pages printed, small injustices floated up like Lint Jason borrowing my Kroger badge for a fake ID. Dad saying boys will be boys when the Civic died and I took the bus. Mom telling Mrs. Fielding I was too sensitive after one clean tear at Grandma's funeral. These don't win cases. They harden will. 602P. M. Church lot. I didn't go in. I parked across and watched families drift out like geese. Karen hugged too long. Michael shook hands like he was running for something. Jason didn't show. A white sedan eased up. Deputy Alvarez stepped out with a folder. He waited for the last hymn to close the door, then walked with the patience of gravity. Michael Pierce, he said. Voice that reaches the back pews. That's me, Michael said, squaring into pretend tall. You've been served. Alvarez held out the packet. Temporary restraining order. Hearing May 1. No entry. No leasing. No removal. Sign to acknowledge. Air thinned. People pretended to talk about weather. Karen slid in between. Like a bad extra. We decline. She said. You're not the named party on this packet. Alvarez said. Calm as a forecast. Mr. Pierce. Michael hesitated. Then signed. His signature looked like a crack in glass. Alvarez left a second packet for Karen. a third for Jason. Have a good evening, he said, like a dare to the sky. Michael scanned the lot for me and didn't find me. I watched from the shadow of a pine where teenagers text. Blue's collar warmed under my wrist. 812 p.m. Motel 6. Ink finally flowed. I sealed the demand for accounting 1 to the house. 1. To Michael's work, certified slips like little tongues. I copied the sheriff's returns and stapled them to the order. Twins for everything. Paper likes company. Texts rolled in. Michael, this isn't over. Karen, you broke our family. Jason, you love attention more than blood. Screenshots. Folder texts. No replies. Silence is a full sentence. Tomorrow, insurance cancellation pending, mailed to the bank. Code inspection door hanger. Tenant warnings by certified mail. And a quiet visit to the title office to flag the cloud again. Donuts for Reina and Alvarez, because gratitude runs on sugar. Today, judge signed. Sheriff posted. Church witnessed. One sheet on a door changed the route of a family. I don't plead. I execute. April 22. 2025. 806 a.m. USPS on Broad the flag sticks halfway. The bulletin board sells piano lessons and finds lost beagles. The line curled past glitter birthday cards. A kid rattled a Mentos tube like maracas. I balanced 2 certified letters on the scale. Slid on form 3,000. 800 like Band-Aids. Small wound. Fresh day, the man behind me sighed at the ceiling. Some people love drama. The clerk, Janelle. Glitter nails. Pin reading I can't fix your attitude, didn't look up. Some people love proof. She said. Stamping. Next. Green cards tucked into my shoebox. Blue's collar tapped them once. Quiet metronome. 902 a.m. Motel 6 printer spat insurance cancellation pending. Kathy had CC'd the bank. Highlighted line. Material misrepresentation occupancy. Policy cancels April 28, unless corrected. No caps. No exclamation points. Weather change. Stated calmly. 911 a.m. Teresa texted. Bank received cancellation. Legal reviewing. Adler replied. Expect notice of acceleration. Papers got a fuse. 1020 a.m. Hardware store. I bought 2 motion floods. A garage padlock. AAA batteries. The cashier smelled like cedar shavings. Tag said Huck. Raccoons, he asked. Family. I said. R. He nodded. Species recognized. 1103 a.m. Maple Street. Porch light still buzzed at noon. Confused about its job. I walked the perimeter with notes open gate latch loose, back frame soft, garage door tired. Screws you tighten before a storm. An old injustice floated up on its own age 12. Kitchen table. Jason telling Grandma I'd lost $20. Dad's stare like a lie was a mirror. Mom's, she's dramatic. No yelling. Just a quiet that rearranges bones. I put it back in its file and kept walking. Noon. Mrs. Lopez waved a sandwich wrapped in paper towel. Mouthed, eat. I held up celery like a promise. 1240 p.m. Adler called. File partition by sale. Ask for a receiver to secure the place and catch any stray rent. Judges like adult supervision. On it. 118 p.m. Clerk's office. Raina lifted an eyebrow like we worked the same shift. I slid complaint for partition. Motion divided by appoint receiver. Proposed order tabs lined like paint swatches. Fee, $135. Receipt thin and warm. Judge Marlowe pulls partitions. She said, he likes numbers. I count to breathe. 206 p.m. Bank lot. Email hit notice of acceleration demand for payment in full. The line that matters, because of insurance cancellation and clouded title. Pay the balance by May 5, or we pursue foreclosure. PDF. 3 pages. Tone parent done bargaining. I forwarded to Michael. Karen. Jason with subject. For your records. Set the phone face down. Ate a Cliff Bar that tasted like sweet gravel. 240 p.m. Code enforcement left a door hanger courtesy inspection call within 8 hours. Andre scribbled Porsche. Handrail. Garage soft spot. The hanger wagged like a small flag that meant later. 310 p.m. Next door ping UP date Maple. Is a legal mess, do not pay. Not me. A neighbor. The internet? For once. I'm a bucket. 327 p.m. Title office. I filed notice of pendency of partition. Ellen. Nose ring. Red hair. Stamped and slid a copy. Shows on every search. She said, no clean sales. That's the point. 402 p.m. The family thread warmed Karen. This is harassment. Jason, Dad will sue you. Michael, come talk face to face like an adult. I sent all communication in writing. See attached? Attached the acceleration notice. The order. Send. Log. Breathe. 540 p.m. Planet Fitness lot. I handed Caleb the almost tenant a paper copy of the order. 20-something? Neat gym bag. Posture of someone lifting his own life. We almost gave cash. He said, thanks. He glanced toward the house. That Mom could sell air? She tried. I said, we shook hands like neighbors. 705 p.m. Alvarez called. Receiver motion lands with Marlowe tomorrow. He said, if he signs. Locks change. Utilities shift. Ledgers start. Emotion left when they sold blue for $0. I said, not a metaphor. A fact. 811 p.m. Motel. I laid out the day, USPS receipts, like tiny railroads. Cancellation letter, acceleration notice, partition receipt, door hanger, next door screenshot, Caleb's thank you scribbled on a day pass. We're out, thanks. H. Blue's collar on top. 1 click. Good sound. Voicemail, Michael, this is the last time I'm saying this. You don't tear down what a man builds. Saved Michael Man builds. File names. Speak fluent judge. April 23. 2025. 904 a.m. Judge Marlowe's courtroom. Oak. Old air. A clock that ticks like a metronome. With opinions. He wore readers balanced on the end of his nose. Adler spoke in straight lines, clouded title. Absent consent. Bank acceleration. Code issues. Michael and Karen sat 2 rows back. Matching frowns. Jason's hoodie read no days off. Sleep said otherwise. Marlowe glanced over my tabs. Ms. Pierce. He said. Tidy file. Yes. Your Honor. Receivership is extraordinary. He mused. But so is a house eating itself, while adults argue. His pen pressed slow. Certain. Receiver appointed. Authority to secure. Inventory. Maintain. Report du caters days. Tampering equals contempt. Karen made a kettle sound. Michael's mouth went flat. Jason muttered. What a joke. The court reporter didn't smile. Her eyes almost did. Outside. Adler handed me the stamped order. Name is Baines. He said. Retired Navy. Talks and invoices. Karen slid to my shoulder like weather. My mother's china. My quilts. Schedule it with the receiver. Adler said. List items. Cameras on. You're cruel. She told me. I'm exact. I said. I can sleep on exact 1122A. M. Bain called. Voice like gravel. On my way. 2 trucks. Locksmith. Videographer. Attend or don't. I'll be there. Noon. Maple Street looked like a tidy emergency. Baines stepped from a white pickup in a cap USN Ret. 1 hard handshake. Locks change. Inventory tags. Utilities to trust account. Garage gets a padlock. He nodded. At my no trespass. We keep it. I admina. Guz my locksmith arrived like good déjà vu. He nodded to Baines. Then to me. Let's keep this clean. The drill thrum felt like a steady heart. Climax wasn't loud. It was signatures and stickers. Baines moved room to room with a camera and a lapel mic. Sofa. Tan. Moderate wear. 6-chair table. Veneer chip. Box Christmas. Contents unknown. Sticker numbers matched ledger lines. He snapped meter photos. Noted Porsche, sag. Logged the garage soft spot. Shut off the ice maker. Wrapped a dripping joint with Teflon tape like a bandage. Michael rolled up mid-process and planted himself on the curb like a stump that missed its tree. You can't keep me from my house, he said to the air. He wasn't speaking to a person. He was arguing with an order. Bain didn't look up. Receiver in possession. He said. Email to schedule personal property pickups. Not today. I built that porch. Michael said. The tone menu's on legend. It's sagging. Bain said. Neutral as weather. He wagged the camera. And now it's recorded? Karen stared at me. My quilts will mildew. Make a list. I said, handing her Baines's card. Bring boxes. The camera runs. Jason arrived late. Hood up. He pinged a pebble off the curb. You happy? You broke them. They made the choices. I said. I wrote them down. 340P. M. Final lock clicked. Baines gave me receiver's entry with a fresh case stamp. Utilities shift tonight. Any entry triggers police. He handed Michael and Karen a 1-pager access protocol. Email only. No walk-ups. He stuck his own receiver in control sign next to mine. Trucks pulled away. The house sat between us like a patient, finally under competent care. 412P. M. I stood at the sidewalk and just looked. When someone names a sag and promises to fix it, the sag already looks smaller. Phone buzzed 3 levers. Teresa acceleration notice delivered. Kathy insurance cancels at midnight. Andra inspection Friday, TA. M. I returned to the car. The shoebox waited. Collar on top. I clicked it once and closed the lid. Tomorrow. Notice of partition mails to every address they've ever claimed. Tomorrow. Baines drops his first invoice, and Michael learns contempt isn't just a feeling. Tomorrow. I'll ask for a sale date. Today. The ground under them moved. I don't shout. I set the terms. May 29. 2025. 841 A. M. Title office on Elm, the lobby. With the glass candy dish of butterscotch and pens, nobody steals on purpose. A printer hummed somewhere behind the wall. Lawn crews thumped tailgates outside. A Keurig sighed into paper cups inside. Thursday. Regular as a receipt. The small wound showed up early. Karen brushed past me in the hall and whispered, "You were always dramatic. Blue was just a dog." She made it sound like a kind thing. Like rain that only gets floors wet. "Good morning." I told the room. I sat. The shoebox sat on my lap. Blue's collar was on top. Cool buckle against my wrist. 902A. M. Closing room B. Baines. The receiver had set chairs like a battlefield you win with folders. Adler opened a clean stack of papers in front of me. Michael and Karen came in together. Taut as wire. Jason slid in last in his no days off hoodie. Irone pre-installed. The closer. Maya. Carried in 3 piles. Seller's packet. Receiver disbursement. Payoff letter. She said, setting them down like plates. Questions at the end. Please. Adler spoke in plain math. Sale price $231. 000. Payoff to bank on the accelerated line $86. 400. Receiver fees $4. 980. Locksmith and security $612. Code repairs $1. 350. City fines $450. Taxes and closing costs $8. 760. Net $128. 448. He kept going. Steady as a metronome. Partition is 50 over 50. Offsets to Michael and Karen's share for unauthorized draws. $7. 200. Miss. Pierce's share unaffected. Michael's jaw chewed on a word he didn't use. You're bleeding us. Receipts bled you. Adler said. We added them up. Karen reached for a pen she didn't need. We raised you. She said. Like the walls needed context. You raised Jason. I said, calm. You contained me. Jason leaned close. Spot me $2,000 till Friday. He murmured, I'll Venmo it back. I wrote on my legal pad. Venmo doesn't cure court. Then set the pen down where he could see it and not misread. 921A. M. Teresa from the bank appeared on a laptop tile. Rita, from compliance, filled the square next to her. We'll confirm payoff on signature. Rita said. Lien release files within 72 hours. Thank you. I said. Thank the documents. She said, almost smiling. We understood each other's dialect now. Baines cleared his throat. Keys. He slid a small envelope across Maple Final. 2 brass keys. 1 round. 1 square. He logged the transfer 928A. M. HB divided by DB in block letters. Liller satisfu. Karen blinked. Where are ours? Not yours anymore. Baines said. Not unkind. Just aligned with the world. A notary slid a form to Michael. Sign and print. He held the pen like it might accuse him. He signed anyway. Letters like a crack. Across glass. We reached the checks. Maya counted aloud, so nobody had to ask twice. 1 to First County Bank. 1 to Receiver Trust. 1 to City of Maple Ridge. 1 to Hannah Pierce. $71. 424. 1 to Michael and Karen Pierce, shaved down for the $7. 200 offset. The fines. The past due water bill, $624. And a storage lien, $312. Baines unearthed. The numbers stopped arguing and sat where math told them to sit. Karen took their check like longer. Fingers could lengthen it. They couldn't. Jason tried again. Smaller. Just until Friday. Friday doesn't fix yesterday. I said, find work. Not cruelty. A forecast. 1005A. M. Outside. The sun hit the hood of my rental like a symbol. Mrs. Lopez stood by the curb with a Tupperware and a plastic fork taped to the lid. I made you green beans, she said, and a little potato salad. But Dijon this time. We learn. She glanced at the shoebox and softened. You did this quiet. I had help. Help finds the houses that leave the porch light on, she said, and crossed back to her side like a parade of 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, A, M, Mayor parking lot. Michael at Western Union. Reading fees. Karen on a bench with glossy brochures, $289 divided by week. No credit check. Pet friendly, with an asterisk. Jason, near the sliding doors. Watching his phone like it might deliver a miracle if he stared hard enough. I didn't walk over. Revenge that works doesn't need witnesses. It needs a ledger and cool hands. 1145A. M. The shelter on Ridge. I handed Miss Pruitt a cashier's check, $10. 000 to Blues Trust. We'll fund prosecutions and vet bills, she said. We'll name the intake room Blue. A small mutt slept there already. Freckled nose. Eye ears too big for his head. The card read Morris. I knailed. He opened one eye and decided I wasn't a problem. I clicked Blue's collar unse, then held it to his neck like a prayer that doesn't ask for anything. 1, 2, 3, 0p. M. I signed a lease for a 1-bedroom above a bakery that burns cinnamon on Saturdays. Email. 040 a month. Laundry in the basement. Tokens in a coffee mug. By the door. The key felt heavy in my palm. Keys that belong to you always do. Afternoon was the errand victory lap. Raina got donuts with a sticky note. For options, Carla got a coffee. Teresa got a card that said thank you in my handwriting, which looked steadier than last year. Alvarez got a 6-pack of root beer with a note for patience. Gus got paid again, and a photo of his deadbolt. Past tense, and holding 405p. M. Andre emailed a photo the porch braced. The dip gone. Complied. The file read. I hadn't realized how much I'd been standing on a slant until the picture stood level. 518p. M. Michael texted you in. Winning wasn't the word I'd use. I saved the message as Michael you win and let it join the others that don't argue when you quote them. 602p. M. Maple's sidewalk. One last time. The new buyers, Caleb from Planet Fitness and the sticker bottle woman. Lena walked up with a realtor. Their dog was a rescue with 3 legs and a pink harness and a face that makes strangers kneel. The realtor held a key with a tiny plastic house on the ring. Caleb caught my eye and lifted it like a small toast. I raised a hand and stepped back. I didn't need to walk in to know the house was different. Houses learn things when you tell the truth inside them. 740p. M. New apartment. The shoebox went on the kitchen table. I took out the collar. I didn't hang it on a wall or bury it in a drawer. I set it in the center. The way people set flowers when they're ready for guests. The buckle clicked once. The room held the sound and let it land. I opened notes and wrote a list that didn't start with Maple for the first time in months. Rug blue. Snake plant forgives. Call Mrs. Lopez Sunday. Email Ms. Pruitt about Saturdays. Quiet. A truck downshifted outside. Long and low. No motion alerts. Lit up my phone. No unknown numbers tried their luck. Silence. Finally. Followed instructions. I washed 2 plates I hadn't used. I lay on a floor that belonged to me. 11 small injustices added up to one big correction. It didn't feel like triumph. It felt square. Like a picture, finally straight on a wall. I slid my check into the folder and closed it. I don't love paper. I respect it. It remembers better than people do. The window held a slice of street lamp glow. The caller caught it and went a steady, blue, stubborn, exact. Not needing anyone to clap. They taught me fear. I learned records. They taught me to hush. I learned to log. They taught me to knock. I learned procedures. When it was time to speak, I didn't argue. I raised the deed.